This is E10, day 1, and we're learning that OA makes the long O sound. So we've got O-t, B-O-t, K-O-t, G-O-t, R-O-d, S-O-p, O-k, S-O-k, K-L-O-k, K-O-st. So get your highlighter, and the first thing you're going to do is go through and colour the OA in all those words. So it says oat, boat, coat, goat, road, soap, oak, soak, cloak and coast. And of course you already know, because we've talked about this a little bit since we first introduced it, is that if we have a long vowel sound, and O is a long vowel sound, we just put a K after it. We only put CK after a short vowel sound. So what is an oat? An oat is something that they grow on farms, and it grows off the end of a long stalk, and the seeds drop down a little bit. And then when the farmer harvests them, they roll them flat, and then your parents can buy them as rolled oats to make porridge or in muesli. So you might have a bowl of porridge or muesli for breakfast. A boat, is a vehicle or a machine that can go on water, and it can go fast or slow depending on how big the motor is at the end of the boat. A coat is a very warm piece of clothing that you put over the top of all your other clothes to keep you warm and dry. A goat is a type of animal, looks a little bit like some sheep. A male goat is called a billy goat, a female goat is called a nanny goat, and a young goat is called a kid, just like you're called a kid. A road, this road is a road that a car might drive along. If you're talking about you rode your bike, we spell it differently, where the E makes the O make a long sound. So sometimes when we spell words differently, it's just to show that they mean different things. Soap is where you use soap on your hands to give them a good wash to get the dirt off and also to kill the germs. Oak is a type of tree that you might plant in your garden. Soak is where we might have to soak the dishes or soak ourselves in a bath if we're particularly dirty, or soak our clothes to get them clean. A cloak is like a type of cape that you put over the top of your other clothes to keep you warm or dry. The coast is where the ocean meets the land, and where that happens we call it the coast. It can also mean that if you're riding your bike down a hill and it's a nice even speed and you don't have to work very hard, you might say you're coasting along on your bike. Okay, so let's read, sound and spell, then cover and write these words. We've got oat, so we're going to sound it 3 times, spell it 3 times, cover and write it. Oat, 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 O-A-T, O-A-T, O-A-T. Cover it and write it 3 times. And then you can finish off the rest of that page on your own. Don't do this word, just do the words in black. E10 day 2, and we're revising that OA in a word can make the long O sound. So we've got oat, oat, b-oat, boat, c-oat, coat, g-oat, goat, r-oad, road, soap, soap, oak, soak, K-L-O-K, K-O-st, coast. So you can see we can have OA at the start of a word, but it usually occurs in the middle of a word. There's some other things that you have to remember with these words. So we know after a long vowel sound, we just use a K, not CK. Long vowel sound, K. Long vowel sound, K. The other thing is, don't forget that some of these words can have two meanings. They may be spelt differently. So you can have a road that you drive on, or if you ride a bike, you might say you rode yesterday. It can mean something different. Coast can also mean two different things. It can be the coast where the land joins the ocean, and it can be to move down a hill quickly or at a nice even pace. So some of these words may have more than one meaning, so be careful when you get to the bottom. Okay, here you just have to finish the word and match to the picture. So you just got to put the O sound in. Down here, fill in the gaps with the missing list words. We will go in something along the We will go in a boat along the coast. Mum will something the cloth and rub it with You'll have to work out these missing words for those sentences. Now down the bottom we've got fill in the gaps using the correct word. We've got road and road that we discussed up here. So the first road is the bitumen that you might drive a car on outside in the street. And road, R-O-D-E, comes from the word ride. It means you did it yesterday or before now. So we can't say I rided my bike. It's an irregular verb and we say rode. I rode my bike. You can have a go at finishing that page on your own. E10 Day 3, we're revising OA for the long O sound in these words. And we've already discussed that the OA for the long O sound can be at the beginning of some words, not many, but it's usually in the middle of words. It's never on the end of a word. So you would use a different O sound for the end of a word. Okay, let's see if we can read these words, sound them and spell them. So we've got oat, oat, b-oat, boat, c-oat, coat, g-oat, goat, r-ode, road, s-ope, soap, oak, oak, s-oak, soak, k-ul-oak, cloak, k-oast, coast. Let's read it, sound it, spell it. Oat, oat, O-A-T, cover it, and write it on the line. You can do the rest of those on your own. Here we've got some verbs and we're doing verb families with them. So find the base words first. You've got soaks, the base word will be soak. Coast, you've got sailed, the base word would be sail. Soaping, the base word will be soap. It's just the word, the base word with the end bit taken off. Here we're adding S to each of those base words. Here we're adding ing. And here we're adding ed. But let's have a listen to what these words are saying. So if we go soaked and we put the ed on the end, it's going to make its t sound. It's going to be soaked. So you can hear a t, but you know you have to write ed. Here we've got coast ud. It's making its ud sound at the end, but we know we're writing ed. Sailed, it's just making its d sound, and we know to write ed. Soaked sounds like a t at the end, but you know to write ed. So that's a little bit tricky. Be very careful when you're doing that. You know you have to add ed to each of them, but it's making it three different sounds. Plurals means more than one. So if we have one rolled oat, we would just say oat. But if we have a whole bowl of them, we have to say oats, and we would add an S to the end of the base word. An oak is a tree, or a row of oaks. So to make it into a plural, meaning more than one, we have to add S to the end. So it says oaks. Combine to make new words and write them in sentences. We're going to leave out the add sign, so we're going to write soap, E. And the Y on the end of a word can make the E sound. Coast, Then you have to go back and write them in a sentence. So the bath was full of soapy water. Coaster, we put our hot cup of chocolate on a coaster on the table. Down here, proofread circle the list word and rewrite. So you've got to work out which of these words is a list word, spelt correctly, and then rewrite it on the line there. You can finish that page on your own. E10 Day 4, we're talking about sentences and looking at the action and when in a sentence. So a simple sentence must have a capital letter. So all of these sentences all start with a capital letter. A subject that tells us who is in our sentence. A verb, which is a doing word. It tells us what the subject is doing. And it must end with a full stop. So all of these sentences you can see end with a full stop. So let's look at the action first. The boy jumped over a brick wall. Jumped is the action, or the, what we might call the verb, what the boy was doing. Max jumped over the wall on Saturday tells us when he did it, on Saturday. First of all, we're going to fill in the missing verbs, then we're going to look at the when down here. So you've got three choices here. We got something in the rain. You've got to choose the correct verb. So we got soaks in the rain, we got soaked in the rain, we got soaking in the rain. Soaked sounds the best one to me. We got soaked in the rain, so you have to choose the correct word there and then write it in the space, soaked. For kids, eats, eating or ate all the fish and chips. You can choose which is the correct verb to put in here and you can finish those on your own. Now down the bottom you have to underline the when in the sentence and then write it on the end line. So the when, the word in the sentence that tells us when, is pretty easy in most of these sentences. It is hot in summer. When is it hot? In summer. So that's what you'd have to write on the end. We went to the park in the morning. When did we go to the park? In the morning. Next week we will go to the coast. When will we go to the coast? Next week. Mum will go to the shop today. When will she go to the shop? Today. This morning I ate an egg on toast. When did I eat an egg on toast? This morning. So you have to underline the when in each sentence and write it there. Off you go.